rotation between three hospitals was originally adopted as a purely temporary expedient, and the county cannot possibly continue a 50-50 participation with the city in this matter. There is absolutely no legal obligation that the county participate at all in the cost of this program. But the commissioners are unanimous in their deep concern that a permanent and satisfactory solution be found. Although for 2 years prior to the 1971-72 fiscal year, the county had participated on a 50-50 basis with the city for the funding of the emergency hospitalization for indigents. When it adopted its budget for the year commencing October 1, 71, it was apparent that the county commission could assume responsibility for no more than $60,000 of the cost of the program for the 1971-72 fiscal year. We believe this action was fully understood by the participating hospitals and by the city. This initial commitment has been fully paid to the city. In addition, the county agreed to pay and did pay $20,000 of the program's overrun for the year 1970-71. In an effort to avoid a cutoff of services, the county in June agreed to use emergency reserves to fund the program until agreement could be reached as to a fair and equitable method for further financing. Although the county has paid the city $104,762 or $44,762 over and above its original budget commitment.
Montgomery is now in the fourth day of reduced emergency room care, but nothing has happened so far to turn the current crisis into a tragedy. While they say they won't allow people to die from lack of care, Montgomery hospitals have made it clear they will not finance emergency room care for the indigent, while the city and county bicker over who pays how much. Baptist Jackson and St. Margaret's hospitals continue to rotate emergency care, but doctors are not on duty in the emergency rooms. Monday, Baptist Hospital had the emergency room for Montgomery. 29 persons were treated, and while none was considered critical, 6 were serious enough to be admitted. During the day, patients had to wait 15 to 20 minutes to see the doctor, and at night the wait was 30 to 45 minutes, and in some cases as much as an hour. Tuesday, Jackson Hospital had the emergency room. 33 persons were treated, with 8 admitted and none considered critical or in danger of dying. The wait to see the doctor at Jackson at night was apparently 30 to 45 minutes. Yesterday, St. Margaret's Hospital had the emergency room, and officials called it an uneventful day, with only 14 persons coming through the emergency room, and none of them was considered an emergency case. 3 were referred to the clinic, 2 others to private doctors, and the rest either had their own doctors or had no need of seeing a doctor. And so the traffic through the emergency rooms has been unusually light since the old rotation system broke down on Monday. It might be speculated that some patients who went to the emergency room instead of to a doctor for treatment of a minor ailment in the past realize now there are no doctors in the emergency rooms, and they are staying away. The hospitals have said publicly they will refer such cases to the city-county clinic. Officials at the hospitals are sitting on pins and needles, fearing that the lack of doctors on duty in the emergency rooms could lead to a tragedy. If someone dies, the hospitals will likely get the blame. Bob Gambakurta, WSFA TV News at Baptist Hospital.
Well, I think it's a bad thing because, you know, people that's poor, I think that they should do something about it.
Well, I don't know. What I say, it wouldn't matter anyway.
Well, you're part of the public.
Well, I think they ought to let each hospital have their own emergency room.
I realize it's a county-city situation. I think from what I understand, there's a dispute over it for funds. But now, aside from this, I really don't know that much about it.
I think if it takes more taxes, we ought to have more. I think people that are not able to afford it, of course, I think those that can afford it should pay. And they should make every effort to collect it, but if they can't, I think they shouldn't die because then they can't get the proper care.
I don't know. The city always saying they don't have any money to that one. That would be the only way I could figure out. The city should have one. The other cities, have a city hospital emergency room anyway. So other than that, I don't know.
I don't think anybody should let, no matter how much money it is, should let people go without emergency care if they need it. And I think that, those are reasonably intelligent people on both city and county commission. They ought to be able to come up with something pretty quick.
Do you know the seriousness of the situation?
Yes, I do. I think something should be done about it.
Any suggestions?
Oh, well, I don't know what to say about it. But anyway, we just need more money.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like they were talking the other day about 2/3 of the emergencies now coming from the city, and that the city doesn't want to, doesn't seem to want to back it as much as the county and everybody else. But I don't know. I was a victim of that emergency room crisis some time ago, and it's no fun. You go in 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon at 6 or 7 at night before anybody touches you, and it's a mess. I don't know where the funds should be appropriated from, but they got to come from somewhere.
Now, this ruling simply finds that Section 1981 of Title 42, which is one of the sections of the old 1866 Civil Rights Act, forbids private discrimination, specifically here in the area of private schools. And the court found that the exclusion of Sheriff Amerson and Mr. Hopkins from Jordan's Law School solely on the basis of their race was illegal and unconstitutional.
In your legal opinion, what effect does the ruling have on private schools such as Montgomery Academy and Stephen Spear and other private schools in the state of Alabama, which are presently all white?
Well, in my opinion, Section 1981 would apply to any private discrimination whatsoever, whether in the area of schools or in the area of any other type of contract making.
Would this include private clubs, golf courses and country clubs in Alabama and perhaps in Montgomery?
Yes, in my opinion, it would.
I have written Secretary George Rumney of the Department of Housing and Urban Development urgently requesting that his department speed up the distribution of more than $200 million appropriated for water and sewer projects. The White House originally impounded these funds, but we have now secured their release. Yet the Housing Department has not distributed the funds to regional offices. This is a disgrace when you consider the dire need of so many cities and towns and rural areas to make improvements to their present water and sewer systems.
We have been very pleased with applications. We have all of our classes booked through December for the current quotas at our recruit training school for WAVES in Orlando. This shows, and we've been able to do this with top-notch quality. All of these young ladies score sufficiently high that they're eligible for advanced schools based on their aptitude tests that they take. We have been getting increasing number of applicants then, so that I would say the announcement has certainly been a plus in the interest that's been created. But I certainly want them to know, and all of the old salts who are concerned about this, there's not going to be a large wave of waves going aboard the ships at an early date, simply because there are a few facilities and plumbing problems to be worked out. Their assigned quota, and we're indeed very proud of them. So I come here to learn from them, to get a chance to see them, our female population in the Navy. I'd be interested in answering any questions you might have.
What's your reaction to his statement about women in the Navy?
I think that it's a very fine move forward. There are many jobs that our ladies can perform as well, and in some instances better than the men.
Statement about the number of women that might come in. In other words, you don't expect to be overrun by women wanting to join the Navy, do you?
I think you misunderstood me. I said we were not going to overrun the ships with women.
Well, we got to go one more time. It's a runoff. Oh. And I need your vote very much. Okay. Appreciate it very much now. Okay. Good. Very good. September 12th. If you need a ride, just call our headquarters down there. We'll come and pick you up. We got to win. We got to win. We got to move forward in Tuskegee. It's a new day. Brother?
Yeah.
What you going to do about it, man?
I'm a hippie.
All right, I want you to get all the rest of these guys who be around here, around town every day, man, because we got to help these cats get some jobs, man. Yeah. Some jobs in here, man, so folks can make a decent living, man, take care of their family. That's right. We got to move this town forward.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Olson, come here, man. Come here. Yeah? Appreciate your move now. You got a man. All right, appreciate it very much. Working hard, man. It ain't like enough. Hey, brother Hastings. The people of Tuskegee have been very good to us in this campaign, and I think that the most important thing, the majority of the people in this city want progress and they want to move forward. They realize that the mayor has to be a person who has the ability to relate to the federal government, state government, and the private enterprise. Because in Tuskegee we've got problems. We need housing, education, and most of all we need jobs for our folk. So I think that people are going to make a common sense decision in this election. And with the students returning, with about 1,500 black votes out there, as well as white votes who are concerned about progress, I think that we have enough, Norman, to be successful on September the 12th.
I have two questions. First, do you think that the black people in Tuskegee will defeat you as they did Thomas Reed 4 years ago by a 2-to-1 margin and put Keever back in the office?
I don't think so, Norman, because 4 years ago is a long time in America and in Alabama. The important thing that both black people as well as white people are concerned about progress, and especially the black man in Tuskegee, because blacks are 85% in this city, and it is the black people who need jobs and housing and education more than anything else. You see, I don't want anybody to go and vote for me based upon whether I'm black or white. I want them to vote for me because I'm right, because I'm trained, because I have the experience and the knowledge to lead this city forward.
Fine, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Well, I will congratulate you on your runoff, and I'll be in there pushing with you.
Well, I'll certainly be grateful to you.
I
am asking for your support and vote.
You know, I'm for Nixon because we can't afford a change right now, because when a new man comes into the office, in times like these, he's bound to make mistakes. So we try to go along. Good to see you, Mr. Webb. Always glad to see you. Always nice to see you. Oh, and always good to see my friends. Ask them for their support and vote. Well, appreciate the kind remarks. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have a neighborhood development plan that we just approved last evening. We have industrial site we have selected, 285 acres, and we now have been approved of $280,000 to put utilities, water, lights, and sewer to that site, so we might attract industry. So when the youngsters grow up here, they can be employed here in this city, in this county. We have model cities going. It has done a lot for us, for the school system, the Board of Education, senior citizens, and many, many things, streets and many other things. So now we have a lot going, and I would like to feel, I feel, and hope that the citizens feel that you wouldn't change horses in the middle of the stream.
As it stands now in this mayor's race, Johnny Ford is hoping that the students on the campus of Tuskegee will vote for him, and the majority of the 85% black voters in this town votes for him. Marvin Keever hopes that he can again win a margin of 2-1, with most of the blacks voting for him and turning down the black candidate as they did Thomas Reed, who is now a state representative. Norman Lumpkin, WSFA TV News, Tuskegee, Alabama.
The question was that, what do you mean they had some particular or peculiar gripes about the mail? Mr. Clark's answer was, well, one, that was that they thought that our government was interfering with their mail. I said, I do not want to believe that, but I'll check into it when I get home. As far as I know, he's never done any checking into it. He brings this charge on national television, which is completely irresponsible. And it is incredible that a man in his position would do what he's done in the last few days, in my opinion. He went on to say other things about this. There were repeated questions on the network show about the mail service. And he stated, among other things, that there's rivalry and jealousy about who's going to carry the mail, who's going to deliver the mail. Well, that's a flat lie, and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Affirmative correction, showing the working agreement that we have among these different institutions. This is the first time that this has been tried in the state of Alabama. Other states have been very successful in this. We have high hopes that with this program getting started here at Draper, that it will lead to even wider educational programs in our correctional institutions over the state of Alabama. These courses also will transfer any place in the nation like any other course that a student might take on a campus at on the main campus at Alexander City, or at any other campus of any of the colleges and universities in the state.
Commissioner Sullivan said today that there is growing support in the legislature for a study release program similar to the work release program. If the legislature approves the program and provides the money, he says the inmates would then be allowed to attend classes on campus, just as the inmates in the work release program are permitted to work away from Draper. John Moore, WSFA TV News, Draper Correctional Institute.
Basically, it's contingent on the Veterans Administration, vocational rehabilitation, the work with the commissioner and his staff and our staff in raising the necessary funds to cover it. We aren't going to see a young man turn away from this program if he's really interested, simply because of a few dollars. Somewhere around in this area of Alabama, there's someone that will see that that's provided. And we believe the legislature is going to provide it in the future one day. That's why it's so paramount that this program be a success.